Welcome to the Brad and Taylor Show. Today we have Amy Neuer.
You're listening to the Brad and Taylor Show, a podcast that inspires entrepreneurs to pursue their passions. We're sitting down with some of the best to learn how they got started and some lessons they learned along the way.
Hey, Amy.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Great.
I like it. Well, let's get the show started. Tell us a little bit about you, Amy. What do you do?
I am a realtor with Preview Properties in Brighton and a mom of 5.
Awesome. I like it. Keeps you busy then, huh?
Yes, on my toes.
When you were younger, did you want to be an agent when you grew up?
I wanted to be a teacher.
Nice. Did you do anything related to teaching at all?
I nannied for several years during college, but didn't go in the teacher route, went in a different direction.
Nice. So when did you decide you wanted to be an agent, or did it kind of just fall into place, or how did that go?
Well, my dad used to be an architect in the West Bloomfield area. So I used to do like his homoramas, and I used to be a sales model in the houses. So I always liked real estate, but I started out in the mortgage industry.
Nice.
Okay.
So I worked in construction lending for Fifth Third Bank, and I did a lot of spec homes for builders and land development. And then when the market crashed, I kind of thought about doing real estate.
I like it.
How long have you been in real estate now?
7 years now. It's
Okay.
gone fast.
Yes, it has. That's crazy.
Take us to your first transaction, Amy. How did it go for you?
Oh, that's a crazy story. But my first transaction, I got fired.
Oh no.
But I mean, it wasn't really any issue with me. It was an estate in the family. It just had a lot to do with the family, but I literally burnt my house down cleaning out their closets for them.
Wait, you burnt the house down?
I tried to help them. What's that?
You burnt the house down?
Burnt my house down.
Oh.
Not burnt it, but I had a pot of soup on the stove, and I thought I put it to low and it to high, and I ran out to help this family because I was over helping them with the situation.
Okay.
I was cleaning their closets, and I think what I learned from that is, we have a job as a realtor to do our job, and sometimes our hearts want to be kind and overhelp, but you have to know your boundaries.
Yes. Yep. And I think that's something that it's definitely learned with time. So your house, it burnt down because of the pot of soup?
Well, it didn't actually burn down.
Okay.
We had a smoke, the pot condensed, and we had, I guess they called it a smoke fire. We had to vacate our house for 6 months.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
That's crazy.
It was pretty crazy. Yeah.
Well, that's a way for your first transaction.
Right?
That is crazy. So
I'm sure you learned a lot from it, though.
I think you learn from every transaction, and you're still learning, at this point. So I don't think you ever stop learning in real estate. No two transactions are the same.
How long was it before you got your first couple transactions after that initial one? Was it a little while, a couple of months in between, or were they kind of right away back to back?
No, pretty quickly. I'm pretty acclimated in the community I live in. Having 5 kids, my husband used to be the commissioner of football. I served on the PTO. We have a large network of people, and I kind of solely work off referrals. So if I do a good job for someone, they tell somebody else. So I kind of consider myself more of a boutique realtor. I don't do a lot of cold calling, or, as I say to Scott Boland, stranger danger. I don't work with a lot of people that I actually don't know.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, that's awesome. You get those referrals, so that's the way to do it. So over the last 7 years, I'm sure you've seen your fair share of homes that maybe you don't want to go back into. What one stands out to you the most for being the worst property?
So a few years back, I did a bunch of listings for a woman who had lost her brother. She was a wonderful lady, but her brother had a bunch of properties that he had sold on land contract, and they basically went bad on the land contracts. So we had to list the properties. And there was one in downtown Brighton. I should have bought it because it was an awesome flip. I think we had it was my highest showings, like 60 showings and probably 15 offers. And it was awful. Like they put cigarettes out in the carpet. There was Sudafed all over. I think they were doing other things in there, but it was pretty condemned. So, but the best part is when we saw it renovated, because all these construction people were bidding on it to rehab it.
Right.
And, you know, now it's a beautiful house on that street. So it's kind of fun to take one of those and see the transformation.
Yeah, for
and you
sure.
had 60 showings, you said?
Yeah, that was a
Wow.
crazy one.
Yeah. So that one you were probably in and out a lot. Maybe
Yeah.
more than you wanted to be.
Yeah, and other agents. I mean, I
Right.
had people bribing me like for their offers. Like it was a crazy one. But the house, like, I mean, I talked about it for years, like literally what you found in there. It was full of garbage and it was just totally not like anything I'd ever seen.
I know you mentioned that you have 5 kids and you're a working mother. How do you balance everything?
Oh, I'm OCD. It's a challenge. Like 5 seconds before I got on this call with you, my daughter just called with a fever from her school. So it's a challenge to balance it. I've definitely had more success with time blocking. I really try to block my day. I feel like I work hard for my clients, but I also like value my family. So I think you need to put, you know, restrictions on that and how you work your business. And I think if you set guidelines for yourself, people often, you know, they respect that too. So I think it's really important just to I lay out every Sunday, I lay out my week, and then every day I lay out my day. So
okay.
Nice. That's pretty awesome.
I
should
do
start
not
doing
miss
that in the beginning of the
anything
week.
for my kids. Like they play every sport and activity under the sun. And I do think you can do it all. You know what I mean? I make myself available. Sometimes I have to step aside, but I'm definitely their biggest cheerleader at their events too. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. So if you had to start over today with all the knowledge you had now, what is one thing you would do differently?
I would have done this earlier. My husband got laid off about 3 years before I went into real estate, just for a short time. His company is a non-union company and it became a union company. And I had to go back to work and I went back into mortgages again for Flagstar Bank. But at the time I was really thinking about going into real estate, but you know, real estate's one of those things you only get paid when you sell something, right? So it takes a little while to get those wheels spinning. And I guess I was just afraid to take the dive at that point with our family situation. But in hindsight, like if I had $1,000 to spend, I would have spent it on the real estate course and some marketing, because I wish I would have just started earlier. I think it's a great job. It has the flexibility I need with my family, and I love what I do. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. If you, what's your favorite book you've read?
So we are having Dr. Harry Cohen in our office, and I'm currently reading this book.
That's awesome.
Be the sun, not the salt. So I think a lot of like business books, like they're great, but I think a lot of these books just are really about outlook and self-help and how you represent yourself and what you want to be. And I do a lot of those types of books because that's just kind of what I like to read. So they're nice, simple reads, and they help us be better at what we do, regardless of what the actual profession is.
That's awesome.
I like the title of that one. Be the sun, not the salt.
Yeah. And it's for like all ages. I mean, you can incorporate this into business and how you want to raise your kids too, you know? So
that's
Perfect.
awesome.
I need a new book. I'll have to pick that one up.
That's
He's
awesome.
coming to our office soon. So one of the stipulations is we all had to get through it so we can meet the author.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's cool. I like that. I like the guys are doing that. That's awesome. How can people get a hold of you?
They can reach me at Preview Properties in downtown Brighton. My cell is best, 517-281-7347.
That's awesome. Hey, thanks for coming on and sharing your story with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Are these working?
All right.
Here we go.
Oh, there we go. I think they're working. Should we tell them?
Mine keeps falling. It doesn't like my voice.
What do we got to tell them?
Subscribe.
Subscribe. What do we got to point at? Hey, I think there's a subscription button. Like
It might be there.
might be right there too.
Somewhere.
Somewhere.
Find it. It's red.
Yeah. And it's
Red.
blue. It's green. I don't really know.
It's a color.
This mic isn't even attached. Did you plug these in? Well, I guess.
I wonder if they can hear us.
Yeah. I wonder if they hear us. Well, we should probably tell them if they can hear us. We should probably tell them to also give us a 5-star review if they're listening on Apple. That'd be cool.
5 stars,
review.
guys.
Share it with everybody they can think of.
We won't take
But-
4 stars.
I mean, Taylor, I don't even think these are on. I mean,
No, I don't think this is working.
This is not working.